Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about my 5 favorite products from 5 of my favorite brands. I was hoping to do like an ultimate 5 favorite brands list, but I couldn't. There's just too many. I enjoy so many brands and I enjoy so many things from these brands. So anyway, there's probably going to be a part 2 to this video, but I did just want to start with this particular list because that's already 25 products. But I did get this idea from my good friend here on YouTube, Allison Chase. She is doing like a little bit of a series and it's her 5 current obsessions. She did one for Chanel. She just mostly did one for Dior. And I thought I would kind of just do my own spin on that idea. This is not necessarily my current obsessions, but I do feel like whenever I make these like favorites lists, they're always like a little tweaked for my current mood. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Let's go ahead and start with Chanel. You guys knew Chanel was going to be on this list. And I do have a lot of favorites from Chanel. The first one I want to mention, because this is just top of mind right now because Chanel just reformulated their blushes. I don't want to say that I don't like the new blush formula, but I will say I do not like it as much as their old formula. I'm hoping it will grow on me or I will learn to love it in some way, but right now I really like the old formula. So anyway, I've just been thinking about these Chanel blushes and I did want to mention that my absolute favorite Chanel blush is Golden Sun, and this has been discontinued. I think they released it maybe once or twice in the past, but this is just such a beautiful neutral shade. It leans a little bit cool. And it's hard to find like cool tone blushes. They're usually very red, pink, or peach, but to find like a cool neutral like this that isn't just gray is tough. And I think that's why I love this one so much. There's like a little bit of uniqueness to it. I don't know if you catch it like when you first look at it, but I feel like now that I've had this for a very long time and I have a gazillion blushes, I'm realizing how special and unique this one is. So I am hoping Chanel will bring this back. That is my favorite, but I did want to mention a different blush because this is limited edition. And it's not available at the moment. But the one that I'm wearing today, and it is quite different from Golden Sun, but I do really enjoy it. And this one is Jersey. So this is the old Jersey. I tried the newer Jersey, and the new Jersey is much warmer than this. This is already pretty warm for me, but there is like a nice kind of grungy beiginess to it, and I think it just blends in with whatever bronzer you have on. Like it just looks very, very seamless. And the new Jersey is just a little bit more orange based, and I don't know, I feel like that kind of takes away from like the specialness of this particular Jersey. So anyway, I just wanted to mention this. This is soon going to be not available, but these are still available at Nordstrom. I'll link it down below. I'm thinking about getting a backup, which is ridiculous because you would have to wear the same Chanel blush for like years to get through or to pan one of their blushes. There's so much product in here. I mean, I use this one constantly and it's still like rounded. So anyway, if you are interested in the older Chanel blushes, I think there's only a couple left on the actual Chanel site, but they are available on Nordstrom still. So definitely get your hands on those if you don't want to miss out on them. So that is the first thing I wanted to mention from Chanel. The second product from Chanel I wanted to talk about, you know, I don't think any of these are going to be surprises because I do talk about all of these products so much. Sorry, that's why I'm giggling. But this lip gloss from Chanel is number 804. You know, I got this on a whim because like this kind of Barbie pink, not really my kind of lip gloss, as you guys know. I swatched it and I thought, well, first of all, it's not that pink actually on the lips as it is in the tube. Let me swatch it for you. But it just left such a beautiful sheen. And, you know, I think I came across this when really like glass-like glosses were in. This was maybe like 3 or 4 years ago when that like really wet looking gloss was in. And I just don't like glosses like that. I feel like they make you look like you're drooling. So I really like glosses that have more of like a satin finish. And so this one really spoke to me. I think I purchased this when I was traveling. So I was just kind of wearing it around and I just really enjoyed it. And when I got home and could play with this along with some lip liners, and I could contour my lips a little bit and then put this on, Wow. I mean, so many people asked me if I had gotten lip filler. I was like, no, but keep talking. So this lip gloss, it just makes your lips so plump. So plump. And again, if you pair it with like a little bit of a deeper lip liner and you just kind of contour your lips a little bit, oof, it's just like such a great combo. I mean, any lip liner that you have, just such a great combo. So just wanted to mention this 804. The name of this, I believe, is Rose Naif, if I remember correctly. Next for Chanel is another lip product, and these are the Le Rouge Duo Ultra Tenues. And I did a whole video on these, and admittedly, I don't wear these very often because they're like a long-lasting liquid lipstick, and I just don't wear lip products like that very often. But these are so special, so comfortable, so unique for a liquid lipstick formula that I just had to mention them, because when it comes to this particular lip product, it's so special. It's so special. So I do want to mention two shades only because they're so close, as you can tell. So the one over here, which is like a little bit pinker, is called Tender Beige. And then this one is Timeless Beige. And Tender Beige I've had for a little bit longer. I believe they expanded their shade range, and Timeless Beige was part of the shade expansion. But I do feel like when I'm kind of rummaging through my collection and I'm looking for like one of these, I'll just grab either one. I kind of don't care which one I grab, but let me swatch these for you. So Tender Beige, again, is just a little bit on the pinkier side, and it's also a little bit deeper. And then Timeless Beige is, yeah, just a little bit lighter and a little bit more beige. So here's Timeless Beige and here's Tender Beige. If you guys have not experienced these lip products, what you do is you put the pigment side down first. So that's this side. You put that down, you let it set down, I don't know, maybe about a minute or so. I mean, you're gonna be able to tell. Your lips are gonna be really sticky, which is strange because for a liquid lipstick, you think it's just gonna be completely dried out and kind of feel like cement. No, it feels really sticky. And then what you do is you flip it over and you use this side, which is like a clear gloss, but it's not a gloss at all. It's like a setting agent. And so when you brush that over the pigment, it just sets it all down. But at the same time, it's what makes it all very comfortable. It is such a unique, special, like liquid lipstick formula, this like two-step process. It's incredible. And I did a whole live stream. This is probably 2 years ago at this point. I did a whole live stream where I applied this and then I ate really greasy pizza and it did not come off at all. None of it came off. I like did a whole like paper towel dab test. None of it came off. It's really special. So if you are looking for something really long lasting that is really comfortable, and I'm not saying like, oh, it's comfortable for a liquid lipstick, which as we know, still probably not that comfortable. This is just comfortable. It's just a comfortable lip product. So this had to go into my list for Chanel because it is really just such a genius product. And then I have another lip product from Chanel, their Rouge Cocoa Flash. I just love this formula, and I think if any of the colors speak to you, I don't think you can go wrong. It is like a very pigmented kind of lip balm. So it's still a fairly sheer kind of formula, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful looking, it's comfortable on the lips, it's moisturizing, all that good stuff. But there's something about the finish of your lips when you put it on. It doesn't just look like you put a lip balm on. There's like always like this like sheen to them. Not quite that glassy sheen, which I don't really like, but a little bit more than just like a satin kind of gloss. So my favorite, unfortunately, is a limited edition, sold out everywhere color. It's number 154, Douceur, I think is how you pronounce it. So many of you helped me in the comments, like spelled it out for me phonetically. So I think it's Douceur. And this is just such a beautiful, like, highlight for your lips. And so you get this, it's just this like kind of juicy appearance. Just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So since this is a limited edition and unavailable right now, I did want to mention my favorite that is part of their regular line, and that is number 54, Boy. So let me show it to you in the tube here. So there's Boy. And I like Boy because it's just a little bit more neutral than a lot of the other nude shades in this line, which I really enjoy, like Chicness. I think I just mentioned that in my favorites. But that one has a little bit more warmth to it. This one is just, it's just really neutral. Really, really neutral, but you can see the pigment there, and it is very, very light, but do you see that sheen? It's almost like a subtle metallic sheen, and I think, it kind of gives your lips like this blurring effect. So I'm just really, really enamored with these Rouge Coco Flash lip products. All the colors are just great, and there's so many shades. So I just recommend this formula, and the Boy is my favorite part of the regular line. And Douceur, if you can maybe find it in store, get your hands on it, I love it. Absolutely love it. Just one more product for Chanel, and that is their Illusion d'Ombre in New Moon. So here is New Moon, and I will do a swatch for you. So there is New Moon, and it's so beautiful. It's just so beautiful. It's just such an interesting shade. It actually reminds me a little bit of that Cosmopolite shade from Dior because it has like a taupiness to it, but then there's like kind of a peach undertone as well. And then it has just this beautiful kind of like silver tone shimmer over the whole thing. So this is a wonderful one and done shadow. It's great to kind of tap over other shades. It's just gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. You know, I love this formula from Chanel, but this shade in particular, New Moon, is so good. And I resisted it for a while because I just thought, oh, it's just so, you know, micro glittery, but oh, like its beauty cannot be denied. So that is New Moon from Chanel, and that wraps up Chanel. So let's move on to brand number 2, and that would be Tom Ford. And the first one I'm going to talk about, I do feel like I talked about this recently too. I can't remember in what video, but I love the glow bronzers. So Tom Ford has come out with like 3 versions of their bronzers, at least that I know of. The first one, which were just, you know, regular pressed powder. And then the second version was like a baked gelée version, which was very difficult to pick up. And it was very, very sheer and light on the skin. And I think a lot of people were very frustrated with that formula. And then they came out with this glow bronzer formula, which is a pressed powder formula again. But this pressed powder is much creamier. And I feel like it goes on like so much more like airbrushed. So it is what I have on my face today. I have it kind of brushed all over. I focused it kind of as like a bronzer situation underneath my cheekbones and stuff. Oh, and this is the shade Terra. So there's 2 shades, Gold Dust and Terra. Terra is my favorite because it is a little bit more neutral. Gold Dust is that kind of summertime warm kind of shade, and I just love Terra because I feel like it's just more versatile for me. It's more neutral. I can wear it all year round. I don't feel like it looks too orange on my skin, blah, blah, blah. So I love this bronzer. I just think it goes on like a dream. Of course, a best of Tom Ford list for me wouldn't be a best of Tom Ford list for me without the fiber brow gel. So I have that in my brows today, and you know, I talk about this all the time, so I feel kind of stupid right now. But I go between the shades Espresso and Granite. Espresso is a little bit warmer. Granite's a little bit cooler. It's more of a brow pomade than I would say a gel, but it's tinted, it's pigmented, and it has little fibers in there, and it controls your brows without leaving them crunchy. The pigment in there is enough to really kind of like deepen up your brows. The fibers in there really make them look fluffy. I just love this product. It is so amazing. If you want like a one and done brow, there's nothing better. Absolutely nothing better. So that's the Tom Ford Fiber Brow Gel. Another product I feel kind of silly talking about because it's so brand new, but you guys are not going to be surprised. I've talked about this in like 3 videos in a row at this point, but this is the new Tom Ford lip gloss. It's part of their Soleil Summer 2021 collection. And so this is the Sun Lust Lip. And it looks like a gold lip gloss, but it changes. It changes to this really juicy peach color, which you can see on the doe foot applicator. And you're left with like this peachy base and then like gold sparkles kind of on top and mixed in. It is so beautiful. And I think, you know, I think if it was just like a peach lip gloss in here with gold sparkles in there, it just wouldn't be that special. It's the fact that it changes color. I don't know. I'm easy to please. The fact that it changes color is It's so much fun. It's so beautiful. And to see the color shift on your lips just ever so slightly, I mean, you will at first feel like your eyes are playing tricks on you, but it's so good. It's so, so good. So I just love this. I hope they make this part of the permanent collection because it's so beautiful. But right now it is limited edition. It is available at Selfridges. And many of you have asked me, you know, do I know when this is going to be available in the US? I don't know. I imagine it's going to be. I just don't know when it's going to be, but I will let you know. I usually post onto Instagram stories like new releases and stuff. So follow me there if you want to be kept up to date on when this is going to be available in the US. And then of course I had to mention a Tom Ford quad, and it had to be a quad that was in their baked gelée formula, which is probably one of my favorite eyeshadow formulas. And I just love this one. This is First Frost, and this came out as part of their Winter Soleil collection this past year. You know, I always hesitate in saying something is like my ultimate favorite when it's so new, but I just love this one. I love it so much. This shade is so great because it's like a pinky peach. It's not too warm. It's like a little bit on the neutral side because of that pinkness in there. And then we've got some beautiful neutrals. We have this really bright shade in there that you can use in the inner corner. You can use all over, which I've done, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. I love this quad and I love this formula from Tom Ford. If any of the Baked Gelée Tom Ford color stories kind of like speak to you, just give it a shot. Give it a shot. They can be used wet or dry. They just have such a beautiful sheen to them. And that Sephora VIB sale is coming up soon. I would take advantage of it and pick one of these up if any of them speak to you. So that is my fourth favorite from Tom Ford. And then I wanted to mention the Tom Ford face palettes because I love them. Like any iteration of them, I love them. And there's all these different kinds. So I wanted to mention this one. This is the Afternooner. This was one of their Soleil Contouring Compacts. They haven't made one of these in a while. And this was the first one that they came out with. And it's amazing. I love it. You can't get it anymore, so I'm not gonna go on too long about this, but for my skin tone, it was absolutely perfect. It was like my perfect travel companion. I loved it. I wish they would come back out with this. Not that I need another one, but you know what I'm saying. But because this one is not available to you guys, I did want to mention a different face palette of Tom Ford's. And so this is the Shade and Illuminate Face and Eye palette. And I love this rose cashmere one. And you know, right now, I think, at least at the time that I'm filming, this is 50% off at Nordstrom. So again, I'll link it down below, but I just think if you've been tempted by this, what a good deal. Anyway, so you have a highlight, a bronzer, and then 4 eyeshadows in there. And all of these are a baked gelée formula. Absolutely gorgeous. So at 50% off, this is cheaper than an eyeshadow quad. So I think it's like $77 and an eyeshadow quad is like $88. Anyway, I think if the sale is still going on, it's just such a great deal. But I love this eyeshadow quad in here. It's a very soft, pretty look. You know, this is not Instagram makeup. It's very soft. It's very pretty. You just get this gorgeous sheen, this sheen that you get with his Baked Gelée formulas. Just gorgeous. This highlight is a little bit yellow for me, but I can definitely make it work. And if I mix in actually a little bit of either of these eyeshadows actually with this, it looks great. So that's the highlight. And then this bronze slash contour works really beautifully for me. And I say slash contour because it's definitely very, very neutral. And so I think you can use it as both. But I just really love this face palette. I love that they're all like the Baked Gelée formula and they're just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So that is my 5th favorite thing from Tom Ford. So let's move on to Charlotte Tilbury. All right, first up is something that I do have on today, and that is the, I think these are called the Magic Corrector. Is that right? Anyway, it's these little guys, these like little concealers. So I have one fair, I feel like concealers in a pan can be a little tricky. They can be a little bit too thick. They can be a little bit too dry, a little bit too cakey, but this has like the best consistency. It's very, very pigmented, but it goes on so smoothly and it blends out so easily. It's just so easy to work with. I can use it with a brush. I can use it with my finger, which is generally what I do. I can use it under my eye. I used it kind of around my nose today. It's just such a wonderful product. And I just love this like little itty bitty compact. It's so cool. So that's number one for Charlotte Tilbury. The next product is such an oldie but goodie, and it is something that I am wearing today, and it's her pressed powder. So it's her Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder, and I do have it in the shade 1 Fair. And this is one of the rare products that I actually panned and finished up. So this is my second one. Can you believe it? It has a very, very lightweight texture, so I don't feel like it makes my skin look dry at all. I don't think that this is a powder that necessarily like blurs and perfects, and there's like light refracting pigments in there. This is just a very straight up setting powder, and I think that's what I love about it so much. Like, it's not going to interfere with my makeup in any way, like its appearance or anything. It's just a workhorse kind of powder. So that is number 2 for Charlotte Tilbury. Number 3 for Charlotte Tilbury is her Lip Cheat in Iconic Nude. And what I love the most about this Iconic Nude shade from Charlotte Tilbury is the actual shade. It is definitely on the cooler side. It is the perfect contouring shade because there is a bit of rosiness in there still. It's so hard to find a cool toned lip liner that isn't just kind of straight up gray or something, because I find that a lot of lip liners, even if they look fairly neutral or cool toned, you know, in the pencil, when I swatch them or when I put them on, they always end up leaning a little peach or a little bit warm. It's just tough, and she just gets it really, really right. There's something about this tone. It's so special. I think this is the second, it's definitely either my second or my third. I think this is the second Iconic Nude that I have, and it's definitely getting kind of stumpy, stumpy there. So love it. Long time love of mine for Charlotte Tilbury. The next product is relatively new to my Charlotte Tilbury collection, but it is hands down one of my favorite eyeshadow quads from any brand. And this is her new Star Aura Hollywood Flawless Eye Filter Luxury Palette. And these are baked gelée. And this does, yes, look suspiciously like the Tom Ford First Frost. Hold on, let me just hold them up next to one another. The Tom Ford First Frost is a little bit bolder, as you can see. So like the browns are a little bit deeper, and that pinky peach color is a little bit more pinky peach, where this one is a little bit lighter. So that's the difference with the shades. What I would also say the difference with the finish between the Tom Ford and the Charlotte Tilbury is the Tom Ford is a little bit more sparkly. There's like a little bit more micro glitter refracting bits in there versus the Charlotte Tilbury, which is a little bit smoother, a little bit more of like a satin finish. So this is just a really beautiful, soft, everyday kind of eyeshadow quad. You can surprisingly get quite a few different looks in here. I know you look at this and you think that is the boringest thing you've ever seen, but it's so pretty. And if you focus in on this like pinky color, you get a very, very light, pretty feminine look. And then this shade will give you like a nice kind of like smoky effect. So yeah, I feel like I can get some really nice like different looks from just these 4 shades. So that is the Star Aura eyeshadow quad from Charlotte Tilbury. And then last but not least, I wanted to mention the Hollywood Flawless Filter. This is just a really, really beautiful product. And I remember when this first came out, everyone was like, I don't know what to do with this. What is this? Is it a primer? Is it a liquid highlight? Is it a foundation? Like, we were all kind of confused. And I think Charlotte Tilbury was genius in just kind of letting us all like figure it out. Of course, she had tutorials and stuff, but it was like whatever you wanted it to be. And I felt like every time I put it kind of all over my face, it would give the appearance that I almost had like pantyhose over my face. Like, it did this kind of perfecting to it, without too much coverage. You know how pantyhose is, you know, pretty much sheer, but there is like a tone to it. And that's what I felt this did. It really is like a filter. So it really is like one of those, do what you want with this product. You know, wear it underneath foundation, put a little bit into your foundation, mix it in, put a little bit over your foundation if you want. I just used it today as like a liquid cream highlight. and it's just gorgeous. It works beautifully over powder, which I did, and it doesn't interfere with it. And yeah, just, it's a great, great product. So versatile. And she has so many shades at this point. I think she keeps expanding the shade range. So I have it in the shade 2 Light, and it's great. And I'm thinking about getting like a shade that would be kind of like a bronzer shade for me, and kind of laying that down before I put foundation down. You know how you can highlight and contour before you put foundation down? I'm thinking about getting that for this Flawless filter. I don't know. Anyway, so those are the 5 products for Charlotte Tilbury. All right, next up, let's talk about Dior. And let me start with the Air Flash foundation, because that is what I have on my face today. I just sprayed this onto like a foundation brush and just kind of applied it that way. So I have this in the shade 2W. For a long time, 2N, which is the shade that I would normally purchase for Dior foundations, was sold out. So I just went with 2W, which was 201. Anyway, that's what I have on my face today. And it is a little bit on the warmer side for me, but I think it works. This foundation is so flawless. It just goes on so like smoothly. I don't know, there's just something about Dior foundation that's so skin-like and natural looking. They do a lot to like even out my skin tone, to like perfect my skin, but it never looks like I have a lot of makeup on. It's just, there's just something about it. And I resisted this foundation for so long because I was like, it's in a spray can. I just thought it was so gimmicky, like whatever, I'm not gonna like just spray it on my face directly anyway. I don't know. I really don't know what it is, why it being in a spray can like makes it go on so beautifully, even if you're not just spraying it right onto your face. I really don't know, but it is a fantastic, beautiful, beautiful foundation. So I wanted to mention that, and it is water resistant. They claim for it to have a 12-hour wear. I don't know that I've ever worn it for 12 hours, but it does wear very, very well all throughout the day. I never feel like when I have this on, I feel like my makeup breaks up or anything. So for me, it is a long wearing one. The other Air Flash product that I really, really love, and you know, for a long time, I just did not have good luck with Dior makeup. And this was probably 3 or 4 years ago. I tried one of their eyeshadow quads. I didn't like it. I found it powdery and it wasn't very pigmented. I tried one of their lip products and it was so fragranced, I could taste it. So I didn't like that. And I kind of just gave up on Dior. I thought, you know, it's not for me. It's just not a brand for me. But this product I decided to try, and I was so glad that I did. So this is one of the my first loves for Dior, and this is the Air Flash Radiance Mist. And if you guys have watched me for a while, you remember how much I love this, and I still love this. So you can use it as a primer, or you can use it as a setting spray. I love using it as a setting spray because it just gives your skin this like really like blurred, smooth, like filtered effect. It's magical. And when I first purchased this, there were no shades. This was the only one. So this is 001. They since have come out with, I believe, just another shade, 002, which is for deeper skin tones, because there is a little bit of, you could probably see it on the nozzle, there's a little bit of pigment to it. So I actually did not put it on. I wanted to spray it with you guys. And it does have like a little bit of a fresh scent. It's like this airbrushed, like filtered effect, like all over my skin. It is absolutely amazing. I love it. And it is a great setting spray too. So it does kind of help prolong the wear of your makeup as well. So this has been a longtime favorite of mine from Dior. All right, next for Dior, you know, this was a really hard decision because I have 3 of their cushions, and I love all 3 of these foundations. And I was sitting there trying to, you know, just really ask myself, like, wait, like, what's the difference between all of these? If you had to pick one, which would it be? And I think it's the Dream Skin Cushion Foundation. So these 2, I think, have more coverage than this one. This one just seems a little bit lighter, but because all of the Dior foundations are so skin-like and so natural looking, it's really hard to tell. Like when they're close, it's really, really hard to tell. But I think this one has, for me, like a little bit of a lighter feeling to it. Again, I enjoy these a lot, but if I had to pick one, I would go with this Dream Skin one. So this one has an SPF 50 and I have it in the shade 020 and it just looks really beautiful on the skin. Like I keep saying, it's just skin-like and you get like the coverage that you need. It's very, very like perfecting for my skin tone, and yeah, I just really enjoy it. So that is the other foundation I would pick other than the Air Flash. And then the last two Dior products I wanted to mention are eyeshadows, of course. So I just talked about how I didn't like the original Dior Quince. They just didn't perform well for me. And then they just last year redid all of their Quince, redid the formula, redid the color range, the whole thing. And you guys know how much I love soft cashmere. So this is definitely one of my all-time favorite Dior products. It's just everything. It's so beautiful. It has all the different finishes you need, from metallic to satin to matte, to this like white shade, which is like a super light pinky purple, like topper shade. It's just really, really gorgeous. So that is another one of my Dior favorites. And then of course I had to mention their new singles. So when I saw that they came out with new singles, I was so excited and then so upset all at the same time, because one of my favorite single eyeshadows from anywhere is that Cosmopolite shade from Dior. And I didn't see Cosmopolite listed. I was starting to get very nervous. I didn't know if they were going to be coming out with it. And they did. They came out with it again in a different name. So it's called Beige Mitza now. It has a metallic finish and it's shade number 658. Right now, these are only, as far as I can tell, only available on the Dior site, and only 5 shades are available now. I don't know, not including this one. So I don't know when all of the shades are going to be coming out. I'm not sure. I've asked them. They haven't told me. They probably don't even know. So we'll see. But this Beige Mitza shade is just absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. It's just like that Chanel New Moon that I was talking about that has like a taupiness to it, but then there's like a peach undertone, and then it just has the smoothest metallic finish. It's gorgeous, gorgeous. And if you love Cosmopolite, or if you've always loved Cosmopolite, maybe you've put it off, you haven't purchased it, just wait until you can get this one, because it's stunning. And it is exactly the same. I did like a side-by-side swatch when I talked about these in a video, which I'll link down below if you're interested in, but it's like the exact same shade. So that's Beige Mitza. And then I did want to mention my favorite out of the ones that are available right now, and I did just mention this in my March favorites, but it is the shade Poncho. I like a lot of I also like Tulle, but Poncho is a great one and done shade. And I had it all over my lid in that video. It's really beautiful. It's a satin shade, so it's not quite as bright as the Beige Mitza, which is a metallic finish, but it does have like a nice, you know, satin sheen to it. Those are my Dior favorites. And then last but not least, it was really hard. Let me just say, it was really hard not only to come up with only 5 products for all of these brands, but to only come up with 5 brands. So like I mentioned in the intro, I'm definitely going to be doing a part 2 because there's so many other brands that I want to talk about. But I'm going to end this with Pat McGrath. Let's start with what I have on my face. So I talk about this Mothership palette all the time, and I don't ever feel like I use it with you guys. So I decided to use it today. And this is Mothership 1. And I remember when Divine Rose came out, I was like, oh no, is this my favorite one now? And I think it was for a while. I also loved Bronze Seduction. Was it Bronze Seduction? The one that came out before Divine Rose. It had that red shade in there. That one was like my favorite for a while, but I keep going back to this one because the 6 shades over here are just so great, like everyday shades. So I have this one, this shade here, kind of all in my like crease area, my like socket line area. And then I have this shade like in the inner portion of my lid. And then I have this shade basically on the outer corner and like blended in. And I also have it dragged my lower lash line. I love this eye look. I love this eye look. I could wear it every single day. I'm that boring, I could do it. I love this eye look so much. I keep cheating on Mothership 1. Every time like a new one comes out, I'm like, do I like this more? But I keep going back to Mothership 1. So this is my favorite eyeshadow palette from Pat McGrath. Another Pat McGrath product that I have on is probably going to be a bit of a surprise for you guys, but this is her Matte Trance lipstick in 1995. I am not a matte lipstick wearer, as you guys know, but there is already at this point, even though these are in the larger scheme of things relatively new, but there's something to me already kind of nostalgic about the Pat McGrath Matte Trance lipsticks, because this was her first lipstick release. She came out with those 9 shades. And for me, it was the first matte lipstick formula that just glided onto your lips. I was like, what is this magic? And it's still to this day one of the most comfortable matte lipstick formulas that I have ever experienced. So many have come close. There's so many out there that go on really, really like similarly, like they just kind of glide right on. You're like, wow. But then they kind of like settle down and they feel a little bit on the drier side. Her lipsticks, I don't feel like they have that like dry down, uncomfortable feel. Like they stay pretty consistent. And these are the most like matte out of all of those formulas too. So a lot of the other ones I'm talking about that like kind of settle down and just kind of start to feel really dry on the lips, they're like a soft matte or satin matte. This is like a matte matte. You're not going to get much more matte than these Matte Trance lipsticks. And they're, I think, more comfortable than those. So there's something just really, really magical about these lipsticks. And this shade, 1995, is so me. That's the year I graduated from NYU, and I love this color. It's so grungy without making me look too dead. So I just had to talk about the Matte Trance because it's like one of those Pat McGrath, like just really special products. Next for Pat McGrath is a lip gloss. I love her lip glosses. This was very difficult to pick one, but I love, despite the name, I love this one. It is Flesh Astral, and it's just like the perfect nude shade with a little bit of gold micro glitter in there. So it just makes your lips look real juicy with just a little hint of color. And some of her glosses have a little bit more pigment, some have less, you know, some are meant to be toppers or just sort of like sheer with like a little bit of a multi-chrome effect. But this one is like right in the middle in terms of all of that. Like it has a little bit of pigment, it has a little bit of glitter, it has a nice bit of shine there, but it's not too much. It's like a hyped up satin kind of finish, and it's gorgeous. I love it. And her lip glosses, they're not long lasting, I'm not gonna say that, but they do kind of like grip the lips a little bit. So yeah, big fan of the formula, and Flesh Astral is my favorite shade. All right, and one lipstick that I think may be discontinued. I'm not sure. I feel like a lot of Pat McGrath's lipsticks like kind of disappeared, at least off of the Sephora site, maybe even off of her site. They were like on sale. So I don't know if she's just looking to clear out inventory and just gonna be replacing everything, or if she's redoing everything. I don't really know. If she does, I hope she comes out with this shade. Different name, I don't really care, but I hope she comes out with this shade. But this one is the LuxeTrance lipstick in Los Angeles. So her LuxeTrance lipsticks are her cream lipsticks. So they don't necessarily have like a matte finish. They have more of a, like a satin finish. And this Los Angeles shade is very similar to 1995. It has a cool tone, kind of grungy look to it. And I love it. Absolutely love it. I cannot find a dupe for this shade. I think there are ones that are very close, but not the same. If you guys know of one that's like exactly the same as this, please let me know. But I find that if I think I see one that's kind of similar, it's just not. It'll be like more gray or more pink. It's just not like right in the middle like this one. Another Pat McGrath favorite. And then last but not least for Pat McGrath, I had to talk about this Blitz Astral quad, and this is in the shade Ritualistic Rose. And I loved these quads. These were the first quads that she came out with, and they're all the baked eyeshadow formula, so they're all of her like special shades. And then she came out with other quads that were the pressed powder formula, which were nice, but they're not as special. They're not as special as these baked shades. And this one is my favorite. I just love it. This shade up here, this pink one up here, is so cool. It has like like a gold shift to it. It has a pink base. And then this one down here has a little bit of like a purpley cool tone to it. So it just looks really just gorgeous, gorgeous on the lids. And if I were to hold this up next to, let's say something like Tom Ford's First Frost, I feel like what we're looking at is a real like party version of one of these, either the Star Aura or this one. But it's like, if you like this for daytime, you're gonna like this for evening. So yeah, there's definitely a theme going on here, but I just really, really enjoy this one. Again, out of all the quads that Pat McGrath has come out with, this one is by far my favorite. Performance, color story, formula, the whole thing. I just absolutely love it. And how can you deny this packaging? This like little mothership packaging is just so, so perfect. So that is my last Pat McGrath product. It is also my last product for this video. I feel like I've been talking forever. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely let me know down below in the comment section, because I would love to do this again for 5 other brands, because I couldn't narrow it down. This is just the beginning. But I would love to talk about Chantecaille, Surratt, Natasha Denona. I mean, I could go on and on. So let me know. Let me know down below in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up also. And subscribe down below if you haven't already. I'll see you in my next video.